Welcome, Danksters, to this week's episode of Intoxicating Justice, drug true crime stories from thedailydank.com. I'm your host, Brian Brown, bringing you the wildest tales from the underbelly of both the drug world and the espionage game. Hey, true crime family. I hope you're ready for another hard-hitting episode as we dive into one of the most extraordinary true crime stories ever. Today, we're unwrapping the crazy tale of Operation Ghost Stories, where deep-cover Russian spies, FBI stings, and drug dealers all collide. Yes, you heard right. Flashing back to a real-life espionage case that inspired the TV show, The Americans. But this story is not just about spies. We're digging into the hidden role of drugs in this world, how narcotics were used as currency, tools for leverage, and even trafficked to maintain deep covers. It's spy drama meets cartel thriller right here. Before we get rolling, I want to give a massive shout out to our listeners worldwide, especially our friends tuning in from Russia. Your love and downloads are noticed, and we appreciate the international vibes. Join our community over at thedailydank.com and hit us up to share stories or just say hi. All right, enough chit-chat. Let's jump into it. In June 2010, the FBI made headlines when they announced the arrest of 10 Russian sleeper agents operating across various cities in the U.S. We're talking suburban neighborhoods, quiet cul-de-sacs, PTA meetings, the ultimate definition of low-key. These weren't your typical James Bond types. These were people you'd never suspect. Couples with kids, mortgages, and even American accents. So who were these undercover operatives? They were part of Russia's infamous illegals program. This long-running SVR operation had spies posing as ordinary citizens, embedding themselves in U.S. society to influence policy, collect secrets, and blend in without detection. The goal? To gather intelligence and shape the fabric of American life from the inside. But how did the FBI manage to catch them? Enter Operation Ghost Stories. This covert operation was launched back in 2000 and involved a decade of deep surveillance, wiretaps, and double agents. From tracking their every move to intercepting their communications, the FBI watched these spies meticulously build fake identities, set up silent drop points, and exchange encrypted messages buried in seemingly innocent online images. It was like something straight out of a spy novel. Now, let me take you back to the late 90s in Bullhead City, Arizona, during my own wild days in the meth game. There was this one clean-cut guy who always wore tucked-in shirts and never partied. He wasn't slinging dope himself, but had these strange connections. He'd trade rare chemicals for product and once asked a friend to help ship chemical samples overseas, wrapped in science textbooks. At the time, I thought he might be DEA or ATF, but now with the whole Operation Ghost Stories thing, I can't help but wonder if he was someone deeper. Maybe not a full-on Russian spy, but definitely something more than he appeared to be. The guy disappeared one day and no one could even trace his real name. It gave me chills then, and it gives me chills now. It's a stark reminder that spies don't wear trench coats anymore. Sometimes they wear khakis and ask for a burner phone. So where do drugs come into play in all of this cloak and dagger espionage? You'd be surprised to find out just how tangled the overlap between espionage and narcotics really is. This isn't just some Hollywood script mashup of Narcos and the Americans. This stuff is real, and it's way messier than people think. Let's start with cover identities. Imagine you're a spy trying to break into a black market network. You can't just walk in and flash a badge. You need a story. You need to be the guy who knows a guy who maybe used to party a little too hard, who's got a past and who just might be useful. One of the operatives in Operation Ghost Stories pulled that exact move, posing as a business consultant who had a recreational drug use past. It gave him an excuse to hang around shady people, frequent sketchy bars, and talk about product without raising eyebrows. It's like the CIA version of I used to be wild in college. I mean, think about it. If someone shows up to a party in a blazer and talks about interests in Eastern European economics, you're suspicious. But if he shows up with a story about how he used to move blow for a DJ in Minsk, suddenly people lean in. Then there's the matter of currency and leverage. Traditional clean money traced, logged, watched. But drugs, they flow through shadow economies untouched by receipts or SWIFT codes. For intelligence agencies like Russia's SVR or even rogue CIA operations, let's be honest, drugs can become the currency of convenience. They're portable, valuable, swappable. You can use them to pay off a source, trade for weapons, or control a situation where money just won't cut it. Think of it as the dark web's version of cryptocurrency. Volatile, high risk, and off the grid. I've even heard whispers about ops where meth or heroin was used to manipulate cartel leaders into doing spy work. We keep your product flowing, you feed us intel. It's dirty business, but that's espionage for you. It's not tuxedos and poker games. It's grimy, paranoid, and powered by vices. Let's talk recruitment. Intelligence agencies aren't always recruiting Ivy League grads and Olympic gymnasts. Sometimes they recruit addicts, low-level dealers, people who have something to lose or everything to gain. During Operation Ghost Stories, the FBI flipped several individuals tied to narcotics, people who, after a bust, were given a deal. Give us what you know, and we'll make the problem go away. And just like that, former street hustlers became informants, even double agents. It's like if the guy selling ecstasy at a club turns out to be working both for the FBI and an Eastern European spy ring, because let's face it, stranger things have happened. One informant, according to leaked records, was given immunity in exchange for acting as a courier between an SVR asset and a drop site in D.C. His payment? Not money, not even freedom, just protection for his brother who was still on the inside. That's the level of pressure these agencies can apply and how easily drugs become the leverage. Then we've got communication. And here's where things get real creative. Forget burner phones and disappearing ink. We're talking sealed pill bottles buried in parks, prearranged handoffs disguised as product drops. Language like, the shipment of apples will be late. The oranges were bruised, which in reality means the documents are compromised. Change the drop. There's something beautiful and terrifying about that. Taking innocent everyday lingo and turning it into a spy code that could either start a war or dodge one. Even street slang became layered with meaning. Got that fire? Might have meant a lot more than just the good kush. It could have been a ghost signal for an operation. So yeah, this wasn't Jason Bourne stuff, folks. This wasn't car chases and rooftop snipers. This was Scarface in a cardigan sweater, slipping you a sugar packet that contains more intel than a CIA briefing.
Are you ready to elevate your cannabis experience? Welcome to thedailydank.com, your ultimate destination for everything weed, laughs, and good vibes. We're more than just a website, we're a community. A place where cannabis lovers come together to share, learn, and have a blast. Whether you're tuning in for the wild and hilarious 420 Somewhere podcast, getting your game face on during one of our epic game night live sessions, or waking up to the wakey bakey morning show for your daily dose of fun, we've got something for everyone. Dive into our exclusive podcasts, from the spooky to the weird to the downright hilarious. We've got a show for every kind of stoner. We're not just about listening. We want you to join in. Our online meetups and community events give you a chance to connect with fellow dank heads and dive deep into everything cannabis culture. And hey, if you're looking for your people, you've finally found them. The Daily Dank is your home for all things stoner culture, crazy theories, and a whole lot of fun. Join the family today at thedailydank.com. This is more than just a website, it's a lifestyle. That's thedailydank.com.
On June 27, 2010, the FBI sprung into action, arresting 10 Russian operatives in cities like New York, Boston, and D.C. These weren't just any spies, they were deeply embedded. We're talking real estate agents, suburban parents, grad students, even a yoga teacher, people who literally had barbecue invites from their neighbors and were playing PTA politics while secretly feeding intel to Moscow. And then there was Anna Chapman, red hair, piercing stare, Instagram model looks. She became the face of the operation, tabloid headlines, late night punchlines, even Maxim photo shoots. But behind the glamour and the headlines was a network of stone-cold professionals who'd spent years perfecting their lies. Fake birth certificates, forged degrees, entire life histories fabricated down to high school report cards. Here's what's wild. When Chapman was arrested, she reportedly tried to make one final encrypted message to her handlers using a laptop she borrowed at a coffee shop. But the FBI was watching. They pounced before the signal went through. Real life 24 vibes minus Jack Bauer. After the arrest, the U.S. and Russia agreed to a now famous spy swap, the biggest since the Cold War. The 10 Russian agents were traded for 4 prisoners held in Russia, all accused of spying for the West. It had all the makings of a 1980s thriller. Darkened runways, tarmac exchanges, government jets in Vienna. The only thing missing was the trench coats and briefcases handcuffed to wrists. But here's the real kicker. No drug charges. None. Despite surveillance logs hinting at narcotic use, coded language around substances, even controlled exchanges that might have doubled as drug deals, not a single agent was prosecuted for anything drug-related. It's almost as if that entire layer of their activity got swept under the diplomatic rug. Like, yeah, they might have trafficked some narcotics, but hey, they were spies. Priorities. And maybe that's the scariest part. Because the world of spies isn't just about stolen USB drives and bugged hotel rooms anymore. It's about backroom deals with cartel contacts, drugs used as currency and compromise, and people who are willing to cross every moral boundary if it serves the mission. These people weren't just carrying state secrets in their backpacks. They were carrying influence, addiction, manipulation, and in some cases, literal narcotics through the heart of our neighborhoods. They didn't wear trench coats. They wore Target hoodies. They weren't smoking cigarettes in dark alleys. They were smiling politely while picking up almond milk at Trader Joe's. And the secrets they were smuggling? Just one layer of a much darker web.
Welcome to the Healing Center, located at 1400 Needles Highway in the heart of Needles, California, right off the iconic Route 66 and just a stone's throw from the breathtaking Colorado River. But that's not all. Prepare yourself for the 9th wonder of the world, the legendary Wall of Flower. With over 60 brands and strains of top-tier cannabis, you'll be in flower paradise. At the Healing Center, we don't just have the best selection, we offer the lowest prices around. We're proud to be known as the #1 cannabis superstore in all the land, offering the best service, the best deals, and a shopping experience like no other. So, why wait? Come check out the world-famous Healing Center for yourself and see what all the buzz is about. For the latest scoop and hottest deals, head over to thedailydank.com and stay in the know. The Healing Center, where quality meets affordability. Your cannabis journey starts here.
Now that we've dived into the nitty-gritty of Operation Ghost Stories, let's talk about what all of this means today. For starters, the line between espionage and organized crime is blurrier than ever. When spies and drug traffickers start sharing tactics and resources, it becomes a whole new ballgame. Espionage isn't just about gathering intelligence anymore. It's about leveraging criminal activities to get what you need. Drugs have become one of the key tools in this dark toolkit. From using narcotics as untraceable currency to manipulating addicts into becoming informants, the role of drugs in intelligence operations is both massive and terrifying. But here's where it gets even crazier. Ordinary individuals like the quiet guy next door could be tangled up in these operations without even knowing it. Whether they're being used as pawns by spies or getting flipped by law enforcement for information, the layers of deception run deep. This isn't just the stuff of movies. It's very much a reality in today's interconnected world. The spy game is constantly evolving, and the impact on the drug war is profound. Intelligence agencies are now players in the narcotics game, adding layers of complexity to an already convoluted battle. It's no longer just about busting cartels. It's about navigating this tangled web of espionage and criminal activity. So, my danksters, remember, if you think the drug world is complicated, throw some spies into the mix and you've got a whole other level of chaos. Stay tuned for more jaw-dropping stories and keep your eyes open out there. The world is a lot wilder than you think. And that's a wrap on this week's episode of Intoxicating Justice, Tales of Drug True Crime. We've just peeled back the layers on Operation Ghost Stories, revealing how espionage and the drug trade can intersect in the wildest ways. From Russian spies living next door to the hidden roles drugs play in undercover operations, our journey today has been nothing short of eye-opening. But don't let the story stop here. For more jaw-dropping tales and to stay updated on everything from cannabis culture to true crime, head over to thedailydank.com. Join the community, drop a comment, and let us know your thoughts. If you're tuning in from Russia or anywhere around the globe, we'd love to hear from you. Your stories might just be featured in a future episode. Until next time, folks, this is Brian Brown, former meth dealer turned truth teller, signing off. Stay curious, stay cautious, and always stay dank.